Yeah.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with humble hearts and we ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions that will affect our community. We ask you to bless and protect our employees, police officers, and first responders. And Father, we thank you for the members of the military, both past and present, and ask that you keep them safe. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Well, looks like everybody's here tonight. Okay, I think we have two, yeah, we have both meetings. If you guys want to pass the minutes on those, you can pass them together separately.
Motion to pass both minutes. Second.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Bills,
Motion for the bills.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
hourly workers' time report.
Is there a couple?
Yeah, we got two in Yep.
Why do they seem low? What, yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something,
What's low about them?
Well, usually it has like for one of the guys that works in the street department, just as example, it's like $1,186. And now it's like 280 or 119 or.
These are your hours, okay? These are the overtime hours, okay? This is the police. This side is the regular employees. And I list if they have any overtime hours here, and if their regular time changes, I mean.
No, I thought it was like the amount of their check on there.
No, that's their actual hours. Their hours they work.
And that's a running total, right, for the year?
Yes, it's a running
Yep.
total for the year,
Yep.
and then onto the side by their name or by the number that the computer prints, I put either additional if they work over 80 in a straight time, or if it's overtime, I put that in the overtime column, so you can always see that.
Well, I don't know what, I must be thinking of something else that I see that on.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd have looked at one towards the end of the year, it would have had
It had-
thousands of them, yeah.
Yeah, it had thousands at the end of the year.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Fireman's time,
Motion for the fireman's time. Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
now Debbie, you're up.
Okay, we received from Sugar Creek Township, along with, the two contracts that we need to pass legislation on, additional $20,840 above and beyond our normal contract price. If they collect and get in more money, they split it between the different, municipalities, and that was our share. We did get that in. I gave the mayor the contract for Sugar Creek Township. I did do a ordinance for it. Their finance officer asked if we could pass that by emergency this evening. He was running late. He would like it passed if possible.
Motion to suspend the rules.
We're not there yet.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Year end is completed and has been filed with the state of Ohio.
I have no clue.
I need to, get a meeting set for records retention still, and the mayor's gonna work on that for me.
Yep, I'm good.
And then I, completed everything with the information as far what it would cost at the current rates to run the contract for Wilmot for the police service. You have that in your packets. Into the legislation,
Oh, I have that. I'm sorry.
I have ordinance number 2102. It's a consent from ODOT to come to the municipality and work on the streets.
I have a question on that also. On the second page, it says, whereas this ordinance shall not relieve or discharge the village from any claim or claims of nature arising from or growing out of the work by the Department of Transportation, so we're responsible if they destroy someone's property or something, or?
My take, and I'll have to pull it up, I thought it was just equally divided responsibility.
The second paragraph on the second page.
Oh, where is this ordinance? You're not really- It's a recital clause, but I agree that it would. So it's a recital before the body of the legislation, but I agree that it would be read against the village. Insofar as they could argue that despite it being a recital, that you have an obligation to hold them harmless from any claims.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the state, so there's a chance of us fighting that.
Sure, Tana, go back over that again. I don't understand
The
what
second, have you found it? It's the second page, second paragraph.
Just the second paragraph.
Does that mean that if they cause any damage, they are not held liable for it?
Yeah.
well, it doesn't relieve or discharge us from any claim arising out of their work. So if work was done, somebody could sue us and we wouldn't be able to say, as a result of the ordinance, we don't owe you anything. We'd have to go and defend ourselves and probably point the finger and say we weren't doing the work, they were doing the work. And we further agree to save the state of Ohio harmless from any and all such claims. So we couldn't look to them for any money that somebody was able to recover from us. We
Is
have-
this where they come in and do the streets, and
Yeah, 93 and,
have we ever did that before?
They've always sent legislation in, but I can't tell you what the old one said.
That's disturbing to me that,
It's not indemnification where it would say you have to pay a judgment against them. So if somebody prevails on a judgment against ODOT, you, village, you have to pay it where you indemnify, you're paying their piece of the liability. Instead, you have to release and discharge them from any claims, basically saying, you can't seek contribution from them for your liability. I think, yeah, and then to hold harmless, save the state of Ohio harmless from any and all such claims, you couldn't look to them to pay the claim.
That is sort of stupid, when I think about it.
Yeah, you relieve and discharge them, so you don't have a claim against them, and then you have to hold them harmless against claims against you, that are brought against the village.
So that means if they cause damage, we have to pay for it.
If they cause damage, someone could sue them directly and you would not have to pay for it.
okay,
but if they sue us,
If they cause damage and somebody sues them and also sues you, my belief would be you'd have a strong defense to say, I wasn't the one doing the work. It wasn't our negligence that led to the damage. And to the extent that it was, that there was an actual judgment against the village arising out of that, you could not seek recovery from them because you're holding them harmless.
I mean, if they came down the street and they drove up on somebody's yard with the truck that's laying the blacktop, they're liable, I don't care what they say.
Well,
Well, there you
That's
go.
our
Well,
responsibility.
this contract says that
well,
if we get sued, they're not liable.
I have a question. Is this because of the fact that with the insurances and the state where if it's the municipality that's sued, we only end up paying the out-of-pocket expense to the resident or to the person suing us?
Well, that's,
When for claims,
Right.
we pay out of pocket, their insurance pays the balance due, whatever the claim was, and they're not penalized to their insurance either. There's that law with us. Is that maybe why that's written in there?
yeah, I mean, we would enjoy immunity, maybe not a high level of immunity for road repairs. But, yeah, I mean, our liability is typically, if there is secondary insurance or primary insurance that is able to pay for the claim, then at most you may be liable for the, like you said, the deductible, unless there was reckless willful wanton, where we would somehow involve. What I would really say is, we're not indemnifying them, so we don't have to pay their claims. So if ODOT gets a $1 million claim, they can't hand the bill to us for judgment, hand it to us and say, you indemnified me. I think it's basically making it so that you don't have a claim against ODOT, and you can't look to ODOT for payment of claims that are successfully brought against you.
And if we don't pass it, they ain't gonna do the work.
And if you don't pass it, they're not going to do the work. And, I mean, in all honesty, ODOT is a state agency, they're going to have to go to, somebody who brought a claim against them would go to the Court of Claims, so they couldn't even bring it locally, they'd have to bring it in Columbus. And I don't think that this clause relieves the village from defending against the claim by saying it wasn't us. I mean, we could say, we did not have any part in any action that in any way led to damages, that was entirely ODOT. And a judge or jury would probably agree, unless you did have some part of it.
See, if a vehicle comes down the road, they're laying the blacktop, and the vehicle, we'll say it's a car, hits the back end of their truck, but it's in the city that they're doing the work, would they still come after us and them?
I don't know that I understand. I don't know why they
I
would
think
come
the
after us.
person who hit the back of the truck would
It'd
be
be liable.
responsible
Yeah, they're
because they'd have
Well,
to
it
be
says
under
you gotta
some
stop in a
control.
circular distance.
Yeah, they'd have to be, that would go back on the person driving the car. I don't know what that would do to.
Steve, now, heaven forbid something happened that, say the asphalt truck, like you said, went up on somebody's yard, all right? And they came down here to discuss it, the resident came down here to discuss it at Village Hall. Would it be feasible to tell the resident that they should file their claim against the state since they were doing it?
I mean, I don't know that I go that far in instructing anybody to file
Well,
claims against anybody else. I wouldn't want anybody saying that.
No,
You know,
but what I'm saying is
But
that,
it would be entirely reasonable, I think, to say we were not in any way responsible for that work that was done
this work was being done by the state,
by ODOT, yeah.
ODOT. So
I'd have
just
to tell
leave
them
it
to go
in
get their
there.
own attorney
Yeah,
and handle it there.
Okay,
I'd much rather go after the state anyway. I mean, you know, if you're gonna go after it, it makes more sense.
But the state won't be doing it. They need to contract all that work out.
No, that's
It's a
true,
private
too.
company.
Yeah, then you can go after them.
then it goes by their insurance, and then the insurance pays it.
Is that the same kind of contract they would have for Alford or anybody else?
I could look into it. I don't know if this is urgent, but I could,
No, that's
I
our
think it'd be
second,
worth seeing if we can
yeah.
revive that or do something.
that's our second.
This is the
reading now.
first reading on this
First
one.
reading.
Oh, first reading, right, yeah.
But you've already signed it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's because you signed it when you gave it to me.
Yeah. Oh, because I was thinking this was that other.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
Just thinking ahead.
So I'll look into the potential modification and then try to determine if other villages have entered into the same type of agreement, maybe go.
Okay, the second item is our resolution 2102. It's a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the village of Beach City, Ohio to execute an agreement with the trustees of Sugar Creek Township, Stark County, Ohio, to provide fire protection and ambulance and rescue service to said township. This is the one they asked if we could pass by emergency tonight.
Now, we have done this previous years, haven't we?
Every 2 years we do this.
Okay, I make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Second?
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
And Schott.
No.
Motion to pass.
Second?
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
And Schott.
Yes.
And, that's all that I have.
I do have a couple things. On the dependency board, we have Leah Hirschberger said she would do that this year. She lives down on Second. And I wanted to bring up the water study, the water rate study. Quicksaw come in here last week and talked to me. The reason why that's 10 grand, they're also doing a study on the possibilities of getting water from another source. And if we have a chance of doing that, they basically have to do this study so that we can get grants. So now it may not be, I think they said between 10 and 14. It may be lower than that if, Greg said he's gonna get a hold of Lonnie, and we're gonna see if we can't find out about that well that we had, the one that we had down here.
Yes, farm.
No,
No.
the one down here,
By the main
That's
street.
yeah, down there by the Peak, down below there. If we can find out some information on that, that's gonna help a lot, that'll lower it. That's what, I would like to do that, that way we'd be responsible for ourselves. We'd like to know why I don't really understand why they didn't do, instead of just going to Canton. I guess it was easier, I don't know. That was a board of public affairs, so I have no idea
Well,
why we did
the
that.
story was there that we could either put the money in down here at the sanitation,
Well, that happened afterwards, though.
or you could put in the water, and you should remember that one.
Well, the water, yeah, but the water happened before the sewer plant, right? Didn't it, Deb, I think?
The first well's the one down by the creek. That one, they did away with, that was down the big end. And the reason that was because it flooded. So they said we can't use that no more. That's when we used the one up by the pump house.
Okay.
And the government come in and made us do away with that pump altogether because, about the lime and all that. But the well, the well was the same one that's down 300 feet. That's probably still there. But it
Okay.
had something to do with the sewer line going through. And we couldn't bring the one from out of town in.
Yeah, I understand that. That's gonna cost a lot. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll give you guys a couple weeks to think about it, but if they can get started on it, if we do that, then they can go in for the grant, because they have to be in by like August or something like that, August or September. That way they can get everything lined up, study all that, put all the information in there. Because our water contract's up next year again. Of course, we can always bump that a little bit, but
Well,
to see if there's
and-
any way we can do anything.
I know we talked about Wilmot before too.
Yep,
But-
talking about that again.
Well, because we always talk about bringing it up 250. The mayor of Wilmot talked to me
Yeah.
and told me that they have already done a study and figured a way to bring it through the
Okay. Well,
back roads or backwoods or whatever.
That's a valley down through there.
Quick
That
saw.
would be great.
yeah, Quicksaw did tell me that they talked to them. And so I'll talk to Mr. Paul. I'll talk to Quicksaw and tell them they can get the information from them too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
'cause Bobby had,
Right.
I deal with him through the business, and then he pops in.
So we can see if we can, yeah, so we'll see, maybe next meeting we can, you guys go ahead and kick it around, see if you think it, because if not, then the water thing's gonna be off the table.
Well,
so.
we'd have to know what they came up with, you know, 'cause like I said, they did a study and said
Oh.
it would be way cheaper than anybody thought. Did you talk to him?
I haven't talked to Bob about that at all, man.
No. I'll get a hold of him and I'll have more information for
I
you.
didn't know they had done a study. Yeah,
I thought I had told you that.
I don't believe it.
'Cause I just, so Quicksaw has been in touch with him, so I'll talk to, but I'll see if I can get a hold of Mr. Poole and see what's going on there. Did you guys want to talk about, well, we'll do that later. All right, Bill, Chief Anderson, you're up, sir.
All right. Total calls year to date, we run 46 calls. As of the same date last year, we were at 44, so we're running neck and neck. Our mutual aid summary well, this has been since February 2nd because we canceled the last meeting. We give mutual aid to Brewster 2 times, give mutual aid to Wilmot 2 times, give it to Erie Valley 1 time. We received from Brewster 4, received from Wilmot 2, received from Erie Valley, North Lawrence, Strasburg, and Massillon all 1 time. I'm sure you guys are well aware we had a structure fire in the township in our area. Family lost pretty much everything out there on Crestline. The fire had a pretty good jump on us before we could get there. There just wasn't much we could do. And then also last week, we mutual aided Erie Valley on a structure fire. Unfortunately, a fatality structure fire. And it was the same way. I mean, it had jumped and there was just nothing we were gonna be able to do. And if they would have tried to, they would have just had more people involved than what we had. So we've run some tough calls in the last few weeks, you know, but the guys are holding in there. Structure fires have been crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe winter people were trying to heat different. I mean, I know what caused the one in the township, but that was, you know, irrelevant. But I don't know what they ruled the one in Erie Valley. I believe it was ruled undetermined still at this point. So. But that's why you see the mutual aid, obviously, from the agencies. We go into the township, we need tankers, and that's what these guys are bringing us. A fire hose was all delivered. The 2,100 foot of fire hose we were waiting on is all delivered. It's all on the trucks, and it's all in service. So all of our outdated hose, I think we kept 6 sections or 8 sections of cloth, which is technically outdated, and the only thing we'll use that for is to do our like our pool fills in the springtime and stuff like that, because all our new stuff is 100-foot sections. The cloth was 50-foot. Makes it a little more convenient when we're hauling pool water to have a 50-foot section versus 100-foot. So we're going to save a few sections only for that, but it's all out of service, and I mean, we should be good to go hopefully for several years. We received our 1 fire marshal grant. I told you we had 2 in. We received 1 of those. That was for the $450 training reimbursement that covered us for sending Dustin King to fire school last year and covered his books. I have not heard anything on the other marshal grant yet, and we'll see what to say. I had on my list, obviously, the $20,000 extra from the township, which Deb's already told you about. That was from Sugar Creek Township. I also had the contract, which you guys already taken care of. Thank you very much for getting that passed. At this time, we are allowing Wilmot Fire Department, they have 1 Life Pack 15 and 1 Life Pack 12. Their Life Pack 12, they had a wreck, it went down on them. As you guys remember, we got our second 15, and the reason for that is because they will no longer service the 12s. When we got our second 15, we took our newest 12 and we put it in our heavy rescue truck. Wilmot was down to 1 Life Pack. So at this time, I'm allowing Wilmot to use our Life Pack 12. It should have been taken out of service anyway. We talked about this. This is the reason we got the 15s. We've always run a Life Pack on a rescue in the 20 whatever years I've been running for Beach City. I don't think we've ever used it. And that's why we just put it back in the rescue, because it's the newest piece that's out of service, if you will. But it's benefiting Wilmot more than it'll ever benefit us right now. For the time being, I'm allowing them to run that. That's keeping both of their squads in service. Without this, their one squad would be rendered out of service.
We can't do nothing else with it anyway,
No,
can
sir.
we?
No, and if it breaks, it's done just like theirs was. So now they're looking at getting theirs repaired. I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna ask my guys tomorrow night if they have an issue with donating this piece of equipment to Wilmot, and I'll come back. I wanna get their input before I just say, hey, you know, it's gonna benefit them more than it does us.
Do we have stickers on these, on this particular thing?
That machine is still inventoried, yes. If we would get rid of it, it would come off of
We have to take
inventory.
it off, okay?
Yes, but like I said, it's not doing us, I mean, I won't say it's not doing us any good. It could have been used as a spare, but it's bouncing around in that big truck over there, and it's not getting used, and it's putting Wilmot back in service. So I went ahead, I talked to John before I did it. John said absolutely. And I mean, they've helped us out with the packs. They've donated packs, you know, so it's us helping them and them helping us, so I didn't have a problem with it. There's a good chance next meeting I will come back after our meeting tomorrow and say, hey, let's donate this piece of equipment to them. And then they don't have to worry. Hopefully for some time, it buys them some time. So, but I'll bring that back, but as of right now, they're using it. I also want to go on record quick and congratulate Marissa Holderbaum. Marissa was our last EMT in the EMT class. She passed her national registry last Friday. So we're up another EMT in the Beach City Fire Department, which is tremendous. We can use all the EMTs we can get. As I said, I'm going to be looking at sending probably 4 more, hopefully this year. And we'll do that as soon as we get a class set up and get established. I don't know, did you guys want to go any further tonight on Firefighter Hall? We went into executive session, we decided to wait, and we canceled the meeting. I don't know if that's a done deal, if we're just gonna have him come off of probation. Is that what we decided?
What do you recommend?
My recommendation is like I said, I think he could run more calls, absolutely. He's done better since I've talked to him. And we need all the help we can get. So my recommendation is we bring him off of probationary status, we bring him back to active duty. And if we have any problems, like I said, the last time we asked him to turn his stuff in, he didn't. I mean, he understood and he turned it in. I don't think it'll be a problem.
I'll
So
make a motion to put him in full-time.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I do.
Mr. McKinney.
You mean to take him off probationary status?
Yeah, it'd just be like what we did before. If somebody doesn't show up, like within a year's time, then we
Right.
ask them to.
Right, exactly.
I got you.
Okay, Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Chuck.
Yes.
So the only thing I really need tonight is Stark State has a volunteer firefighter course coming up. The only one left in the building is my boy Corey. He's still untrained. Corey is, and I'm not bragging because he's my boy, but Corey's running probably 65–70% of our calls right now. I'm super proud of Corey, I really
You
am.
are too bragging. Who you
I am a little bit. I'm very proud of my boy. I'm glad he's jumped in with both feet.
And if he wasn't
And-
doing that, you'd grab him anyway.
I wouldn't, if he wasn't, he knows he'd have to answer, so.
That's right.
With that being said, Stark State has a fire class. It's in April. I would like to get him registered for that fire class. Cost of class with books is $302.60. I would like permission to do that tonight.
Make a motion.
Second?
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Chuck.
Yes.
And that's $302.60 for the class and the book?
And the books, yep. That's through Stark State. The last one we sent Dustin to was University of Akron, 3-Year Valley. They're a little bit higher. Now this is pending the class goes through. I mean, they've set up a lot of volunteer firefighter classes. Didn't get the participation. And I mean, with COVID right now, the world's a crazy place. And
Where's that at?
That's at Stark State. It's up in North Canton, whatever you want to call that, up by the strip there. Super good program. That's where I took my class, 20 years ago, and
That's
they're
the
still
main
going strong.
campus.
Yep. Super good program up there. That's all I got, unless you guys got something for me.
How long does that take for him to graduate from that? How long is the class?
The class is actually 1 month. The way they do their volunteer classes now, it'll start on April 10th. It'll go 8 hours on the 10th and the 11th. That's a Saturday, Sunday. It'll go 8 hours, whatever the next Saturday and Sunday is, both days. And then the following one after that, it'll be like 8 hours, and then he'll test that Sunday, I believe. So it's like a whole month thing, but it's all weekend.
Well, that's good though.
So, and I mean, hopefully Menards is working with him, trying to get him, because that's what he works his weekends, because obviously he goes to school during the week at Akron, so, but, yeah. so-
Can I ask, if you had a student that failed that class, what would they have to pay payment then? Or what?
It depends. If our student goes through our tuition agreement, which was drafted through solicitor and through me, they're not reliable if they go through and they try and they do not pass. If they go through and they quit, then they're reliable. And after we pay for this, he'll sign the same agreement. He'll have to dedicate so many hours of service to the village to, and I don't have it in front of me, it's so many hours for volunteer firefighter. It's a little bit more for EMT, then it's a little bit more for paramedic. He'll have to sign that agreement, and I'll have him sign that tomorrow before we go any further. But if he fails, just because he didn't pick it up, then I don't agree that it's right for us to. And he'll get 3 tries, and not just him, everybody that goes, they get three chances before they got to retake the test, so, for the reclass. But yeah, he'll sign the tuition agreement. I'll have that all done tomorrow, and we'll get him enrolled. That's all I got.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, thanks, Chief. Chief Deck, you're up.
A few things. Me and 2 other officers would like to go to a training that I sent 2 of my other officers through last month. It's a street cops training. It's a lot of training on the road and on the job. The closest one they have is in Pennsylvania. It's only 2 hours away. But with that, I would like to get the hotel, 2 hotel rooms for that night. We'll leave probably Sunday. It's a 10-hour class on Monday, and then we come back Monday night.
You gotta tell me more from this training. That's a long way to go for training. I like to hear.
Sure, it's just pretty much, well, it gives you different tactics to use on traffic stops, different safety measures on when you're on calls, and how to approach things, how to look for different items on traffic stops, and on calls, and dealing with the public, and different ways of dealing with people as well.
There ain't no place else like Columbus or any place that does anything like this?
Nope.
Columbus is 2 hours
Yes,
away
it is,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the closest they do. This guy travels all over the country. So it's $2.99 per person. I've got the money in my training. Was it $2.99 a person, Doug? I think it's like
I don't remember.
$300 a person, $2.99.
Where are you talking, Pittsburgh?
It's a little further than about an hour east of Pittsburgh.
That's $300.
East of
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
It's southeast. It's an hour. It's like 2.5 hour drive.
What town is
2.5
it?
hours. I don't even remember. I just know it's about 2.5 hour drive from here.
Is this the first time you've had anything going out like that?
What's that, going to that
For
training?
that training?
Yes. Well, we've had two of my officers did it. Where was that one that they went to?
They went up to, they were about 2 hours away too. It was outside of Cleveland, west of Cleveland, I wanna say.
They said they really enjoyed it, really learned a lot out of it. And so when they came back, I decided that me and 2 of the other officers would like to go to that as well. And then I'd like to get 2 hotel rooms. 2 of us will share a room, and for the other person. So it'd probably be about $300 for the hotel, so I'm looking at $1,200, and what I have about $3,500 in my training fund, Deb.
Yeah, I would say 35 to 39, yeah.
So I've got the money in my training account. And then also and that's the end of this month, on March 15th, I'm sending 2 of my officers to crisis intervention training. It's a week-long class it won't cost us anything. I would like to pay for one of my officers' salary for that week, for our pay that we pay him. And then I'm going to apply for a grant to see if we can get that reimbursed. But that's not a guarantee, but I'd at least like to pay for his time to be there because he's taken off from his full-time job to be able to go for that week.
Didn't I just read something in OMG or whatever it was we just received online that, about training through the state? Money that you can get through the state for trainings?
I'm not sure what that is, but I know I'm applying for a reimbursement for that. So if that's a different one, then absolutely. But I'd like to, worst case, we're gonna pay for him a week to go through crisis intervention. It's a great training, especially dealing with people with mental health.
How much is that one?
Free.
And
Joe,
how many?
how much you wanna pay this guy?
His 40 hours for whatever his fringe rate would be on top of the $12 an hour, so was it 15 something an hour times 40?
You're looking at me and I don't even know who you're talking about.
Highland.
He's gonna have to miss his full-time work,
Yes.
and you wanna pay, I don't know what he makes full-time.
No, here, we'll pay him at this rate.
Oh, he makes $12 an hour.
Okay, so.
And what with all his perks?
None.
Does the
Not
training
no
primarily benefit the employer,
The,
the village?
it would be the crisis intervention training it would for us,
Okay.
dealing with the mental health and helping with how to handle mental situations.
What is the total price you're asking?
So 12 times, well, do 15 times 12.
480 if it's $12 an hour.
Just for that, and what's the price of the course?
It's
Huh?
free.
It's free.
Free course,
Yep,
480,
Does he have to travel
Plus-
or is it closed? or-
it's in Canton.
Oh,
I believe
okay.
it's Stark County.
So just
480
pay for
plus-
from there.
what was the other, class in Pennsylvania?
That would have been 1,200. Because that includes 2 hotel rooms at $150 a room and $300 per person for the class.
1680. I make a motion that we send them to class.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
The guys you're sending, are they, planning on staying?
Oh, absolutely. I can't.
I mean, I'm just asking
Yeah.
how long we've had them. Are
So
we gonna pay all this and then?
Joel's been here
disappear?
since 2012. I've been here since 2014, Kylan 2018. So I don't see, Joel's not going anywhere. Joel absolutely loves it here. Kylan works every week. They both work every week. Joel's completely happy here unless something better would come along
And I think there may be an obligation to pay the hourly. Just, under the Fair Labor Standards Act, if it benefits the employer related to the job, voluntary, outside regular working hours, there's 4 criteria that you have to meet for it not to be paid. And I don't know that it would. You may have to pay the regular rate. That would be for the training time, not a 40-hour work week.
Okay. So I guess the one big thing with the CIT training, the crisis intervention training, if you remember in a hearing that I was in, one of the questions I was asked was when was the last time I'd taken that class? And it's a very beneficial class.
Well, it protects the village as well from liability if an officer does something that he doesn't necessarily know that he's doing wrong.
De-escalation.
Yeah, especially whenever you're talking about with mental health. I'm sure this teaches them how to recognize that that's what's going on, and there's been a lot of that in the last few years where officers didn't know what they were doing, and it turns out bad, not just for the village, but for the person who's ends up a victim, you know.
And if I can get them to go for free and just pay their hourly rate for it, 100% I'll send it to it and possibly get it reimbursed. Steven, were you saying that do I need to pay more for that, or is that okay? We're paying them that, okay?
I have a motion by McKinney, do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
Thank you. The other thing I need $65 for the chief association dues that are up every year. Nothing crazy, I could probably approve that.
You're the chief, pay it out of your pocket.
I was thinking the same thing.
Thanks, guys.
After just getting all that money to go on vacation.
I thought we already okayed that.
I make a motion, we pay the chief's dues $65.
I appreciate it.
Should come out of his pocket.
A second.
Thank you.
I'm drinking coffee.
Bennett? Yes. Thomas?
Yes.
Richards? Yes. McKinney?
Yeah.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
The transportation agreement with Wilmot, or not Wilmot, with Maslin. I brought that up the last couple meetings, that they changed some things. We were in negotiations with Maslin on it. It looks like we're gonna be paying probably about $1,600 for it. In years past, they were charging us $150.
Did you say 68?
1,600.
16, thank you.
In years past, they were just charging us per person we arrested. This year, because of 2020, they lost money on it because nobody was going to jail. They have full-time employees, and it is beneficial, even though I hate to see that price for it. It is something that they send someone up to the jail, pick our inmate up, bring them down, take them to court, give them lunch if they need to, and take them back to the jail. It pays for itself by just not me having to schedule somebody, or the liability of having to bring a prisoner from the jail down to court. So,
If you took 2 people, you'd end up paying that amount of money.
yeah, so no matter if I take 20 people or 2 people, that's
Do
what
we
you
have
pay.
any paperwork from them on this?
I'm bringing it to you next meeting. I'm just letting you guys know there's still a couple things I'm working on with it, but it's coming, so I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys will be seeing that next meeting. And the only other thing that I have is, clerk gave you guys all the information on the Wilmot contract. We will need to raise that, and I'm gonna leave it at that for now. And that's all I have.
You're gonna do what with the contract?
We're gonna have to raise it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's, we'll have to have further discussions on it, but it does need to be raised.
Yeah, and I think council needs to have input on preparing my contract.
What's council, like, having a meeting, or what, I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Well, I think we should have some say in what the contract says.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yep, and that's where I'm gonna kind of step back and take your
Yeah.
opinions on it. Both councils get together, and I'm gonna enforce do the police side of things, but I think we're pretty close between me and Debbie's numbers on where we need to be at, or where we're at for the cost, I should say. So, other than that, that's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, Mr. Long.
All right, we ordered the signs for when we're gonna be putting down church for the one-way parking. They've been shipped, I just got an email about that. I also ordered some posts for Rick for some street signs that he's gotta replace. We had a water leak, I was just informed by John, down 3rd and Main, down here where we couldn't locate the leak and actually had to have a leak detection company come in. And we did that because if you can't find the leak and you can't stop the water, and it would have been really bad. So we had leak detection come in, they located it for us and since been handled. The biggest thing, I'll read you something here that I received from the land bank administrator for the 3 properties that I spoke of, I believe 2 weeks ago. I think we talked about them, the targeted acquisition properties. This is dated February 10th, and within the next 30 days, we will be taking possession of the property of 312 3rd Avenue Southeast. That's down this way, and it's the one, it's completely caving in. You can actually, there's no roof on it
The one-
anymore. It's,
The one that's got the hole.
Is that the Kyle one?
That's the one that's got the hole in it?
That's the one where the Mrs. Lonzer had a,
That's
is
Kyle's.
that the one she had a lien on?
I don't believe.
It's right on that corner where you go up the
Down
hill.
here?
This
Well,
one's.
don't we have a
this-
map with it on?
Yeah, this one, I got a, yeah, hold on.
This is the one that has the hole in the
No, I
road.
mean, we have a copy of it in our.
There's a whole bunch of holes in it. It's,
right
nobody's been
next
there
to
for
my
over
garage.
20 years.
It's right next to David Dunn's property.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a David Dunn property at one time, and then.
Oh,
he
Mr.
gave-
Kyle, that was his grandma.
The one where you used to own across the street from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
So-
Yeah, that one.
This land bank administrator informed me that within the next 30 days, that more than likely we'll be hearing from that, and all the transferring will be complete, all the paperwork. So that one's in about 30 days. The one on Sixth Avenue is about 60 days out, and the one on Main is also about 60 days from now. And with those, there's gonna have to be the demolition assistance program, which the land bank also does. I have all of those forms filled out, and there's a list also in here of, and I'll get with you, John, about this.
Okay.
You have to get like 3 different quotes from 3 different contractors for that, but we've worked with Copper Ranking, I think, last time for the trailer. So those 3 are going to be, pretty soon we'll have possession of them, so, but then the demolition assistance, like I said, I'll get with John, but I have all 3 of those forms already filled out, ready to go, and just submit it to them, and they cover 50% of demolition. And that is all I have.
Oh, also on the same note, I found a phone number, it was down by Strasburg on the corner. They take trailers, just, so when we do get the property on 6th, I'll call them and see if they wanna come up and drag that trailer out, we might be able to get rid of that for nothing.
Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Were you able to contact the gentleman you were thinking about?
Yes, and he said he will be getting back in touch with me soon, he just had to speak it over with his wife.
So, boys.
He's got a boss, he has to.
He answers to that one, so, yeah.
We all
And
do.
thanks for the info on the property, it was on my list to ask about tonight.
Okay, yeah, that's, we're about, and that was dated February 10th when she sent that to me, so you're looking at roughly 2.5 weeks ago, so it's gonna be here pretty soon that we'll have all the paperwork for that, and we'll be taking possession of that property, and the other 2 will be about 60 days after. So good.
Alright. Oh, also, yeah, the census. I don't know if you guys read this, Hazel brought this up too, and I had it written down now. For some reason, they're delaying that until September 30th, which means we're not gonna be able to find out about a few things. But then also, she said the state's suing them, but that hurts too. And then they may not even pay attention to it, sort of like the school tax, the Supreme Court ruled a couple times that they can't tax us for schools. They do it anyway, so.
Been there for 20
But
years.
anyways, yeah, it's gonna be, I think that's about everything I had. I'm gonna get a hold of Mr. Poole. Oh, the trees. What was it that was causing those trees at the cemetery to die? Was it the nitrogen?
They were thinking it was the nitrogen from the clarifiers
Okay.
when they worked.
'Cause I'm gonna
They
get
were
a hold
thinking
of a
that.
nursery to see about,
Are we gonna
Getting
replant
those-
any trees down there, or you're gonna wait till you find out what that is?
well, I'm going to, I'm gonna call a couple nurseries and see what I can find out. We might be better off just, we might be better off just to get a couple right off the bat and see how they go. I don't know. Instead of like buying a whole bunch and have them all die.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a bunch in there and then all.
I think maybe just space them
Yeah,
out a
yeah.
few and then see how they do, and then if they survive, then do. Okay, Mr. Barrett.
So the only thing I wanted to bring up, on Friday I received a Tenergy gas supply contract that I guess was sent from AMP. And I know we've seen these in the past, but it's
Is
been.
this the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna talk with you about it.
Yeah, it's been several years, yeah, since we've seen anything like this. So I have a call into AMP, just to get some questions answered about the underlying purpose of it, and then potential, whatever potential liability could be out there.
Yeah, and I was gonna speak with you about it too, because I got the
Okay.
same email.
Okay.
Talk it over.
So we'll talk about it. I have a call into them, and then by next meeting, I'll have more information about it with some of the questions I think that would be answered. So aside from that, I don't have anything else.
John, I got one thing to bring up about the
Yes.
gas company.
Yes.
How are we doing with all the, I know one alley's completely gone. It's the one behind Les Howe's house.
It's
Comes up-
gone?
it Goes north and south. Terry Engel told me that alley trash. I wanna make sure when the gas company does that, they're in there, that it gets fixed right.
Yeah, I got the numbers for the superintendent for Miller Pipeline and also the construction engineer for the project as well.
If you get a look, chance to go
Where's
up
it
there and
at?
look and see what it is. Go up to the right, make a left-hand turn on Third,
Okay.
go down to, what's the street back to Kenny East?
Orchard?
Orchard, to the first alley on the left-hand side,
Okay.
and look at it, they tell me it ain't good.
Well, I know for a fact that last year when they were in Bolivar, they tore everything up to high heaven too. They fixed it all now, but I mean, it's, yeah. And they're bonded and insured. And I'll speak with with their superintendent as well, because he's here every day. I got his number written down.
Okay.
Do you know if, are they done with Main Street yet? I mean.
They should be. I got an email from Ben Cutler, who's the engineer, and he was asking if there were any issues or anything, and I'll also shoot him an email. And see, they should be done with me. Like
They
that
were
was
on
the
Main
first-
today,
Yeah.
up
Oh,
the
but-
light.
Yeah, but the other way, over the other part, yeah. Yeah, these customers.
Do you need executives to
Oh,
find out about
yeah.
what's going on with
Is
that?
it Erica thing, what was it? Still going on, right?
Yeah, if we wanted to discuss better, we should probably go into executive session, pending litigation.
Pending litigation, yeah. In the executive session for pending
I'll
litigation.
make a motion, we go into executive session, pending litigation.
Second?
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney, Bailey.
Yes.
And Chuck.
Yes. Okay, going into executive session at 7:52. Return from executive session.
Man, I bet you his van's in the shop.
Oh, that white Charger, I think?
Yeah.
Who's this?
I'm driving.
I knew it.
No.
Yeah, Trent, go ahead.
You can take that thing out of the mirror.
Okay, you gonna
So you
vote?
can see.
Yeah, you want both to come back in, guys?
Some customers
You
think
make
they're
a
not allowed to
motion?
take it
I'll
out.
make a
I hear 'em.
motion to return from executive session.
Okay.
No action taken.
No action, well, one minute, anybody have anything to say? Thank you.
I want you to forget.
I did.
Someone gonna.
Monday works for me, yeah. So,
All right, next Monday then, 6 o'clock,
Six?
or, yeah, can you make it at 6?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
If it's close, I'll text you, but I should be.
I'll just make sure,
You want
this
to
good
set up
candy
for a
bar.
special
won't be open.
meeting?
Yeah.
Like it's a couple tacos meeting.
Did you?
I mean, Chief's gotta come to my house again, right?
We don't need Steve in there, do we?
I have a conflict, that's the only reason I say I
No,
don't know
I
that I
don't.
necessarily need to be, but.
But, I mean, we could just send it to him, he can look it
Yeah.
over before.
I was gonna say, you want me to send you the,
Yeah.
I got bits and pieces of the contract, but I've got
Plus, we won't be needing it.
a list of what's in it.
Yeah,
If you need it, I'll
I may
meet.
have a copy, I don't know if there've been any changes to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
negotiations.
Yeah, no, I know
But
it's
if you
texting
send it to me,
you.
I'll take a look and I can weigh in on it.
Help me,
Help me.
help me, I know it's texting, say,
Yeah.
help me. But I don't see where we're.
Okay.
All right. And we're doing a lot of meetings. Well, we had a couple that we didn't do, so, I had two today. Okay, well, that'd be it.